the lexical form, but the problem is that that's not what is actually in 1 Peter 3:15. Pros apologion is an inflected form. Now, would they know why it's inflected? Would they be able to research serious, meaningful lexical sources? Can they read the language well enough to recognize the background of 1 Peter 3:15 and the citation from Isaiah and what's going on before that? And what does it mean to sanctify in your hearts kurion deton Christon? That's why I have started to speak a lot on 1 Peter 3:15 in basically admitting that for many years as an apologist, I focused upon what Peter wasn't focusing upon. And that there is an attitude in the mind that one must have to be able to fulfill the command of this text. And it is an attitude that I don't believe Hebrew Israelite theology allows it to fulfill. What y'all are missing is that this text identifies the Messiah as Yahweh. Not Ahaya, as you want to play with Hebrew words, but as Yahweh. Because that term kurion is the Greek Septuagint's transliteration isn't perfectly accurate, but it's the Greek Septuagint's rendering of the divine name. I first spoke on this at the Wretched Conference in Ohio, and I think, wow, I've forgotten what year it was. I was about to say 2008, but that's too far back. A while back. And I've spoken on this a number of times. I think I've gone through it on the dividing line in the past. But if you will follow the citations that Peter uses and follow the context from Isaiah 7 all the way through Isaiah 11, then you'll see what the background is here. And what Peter's actually saying is to treat the Christ as Yahweh, to sanctify, consider as holy in your hearts the Messiah as Yahweh. That then becomes the ordering epistemological principle that then allows the believer to honor God and honor what He's done in the incarnation, and hence to be ready to give an answer. But that's only a commandment for the person who at first is doing what so much of the Hebrew Israelite movement denies, and that requires a belief in the full deity of Christ. And the only way to believe in the full deity of Christ is to believe in the doctrine of the Trinity, which you identify as Romish, as we will see here in a moment. All these things, here is, see up on the screen there, Shema Yisrael Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Anyway, this is the problem in Strong's exhaustive concordance scholarship. It misses some of the important elements of things. Here we go.
Read that real quick, Malachi. Maccabee, Shalakim.
1 Peter 3:15.
Nice and loud, brother.
But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts.
Come on.
And be ready always to give an answer.
Come on.
To every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is within you, with meekness and fear.
Okay, so the word here, answer, means in the Greek, means to answer, to plead your cause, to defend your argument, to bring an argument for what you believe in. So that's where the word apologia comes from. Huh? Okay, so we're going to bring...
Okay, I was just informed by one of our guests from last week on Twitter that it says, in case you're wondering why he keeps saying Khan, that's how they pronounce the Hebrew term for yes. So that's where that's coming from. It sounded to me like, come on, because I've heard that one too. But now we know better. Okay, so you'll notice lexicons, Strongs, so on and so forth. That this is okay. I get it. That's fine. Be nice to go a little bit beyond that.
Or we're going to be the true apologia Christians, huh? Okay. All right, so let's read that real quick, Brother Maccabees.
Many modern-day Christians today use sources like Ignatius of Antioch, combined with Revelations 1:10, the Lord's Day, as evidence for the Sunday worship argument, because they know they can't find anywhere in the Bible Christ commanded to be worshipped on Sunday. But let's take a more in-depth look into Ignatius of Antioch's writings in Revelations 1:10 to see if this supports Sunday worship.
Okay. Now, who was Antioch? Antioch, he basically, he was the bishop of Antioch. I mean, who was Ignatius? Excuse me. He was the bishop of Antioch, the place in which the Christian was called first Christian. The apostle was first called Christian. Huh? Okay, so he's an important guy. And he lived very early on. Okay, 35 to 108 AD. So this guy was a prominent character or leader in the Christian community, especially in early Christianity. So his writing is extremely important because this is one of the outside sources out of the scriptures that we could find how Christians conduct themselves. Okay, and he was an apostolic father, a student of John the Apostle, the same guy who made the comment, the Lord's Day. So you would think that his writing will be important because to figure out this particular phrase. He was killed on the road to Rome. He was fed by lions or fed into wild beasts. He got eaten alive. So he was considered a martyr. So this man, unto the death, he defended the truth. Okay. Now let's see who.
Now, let me go back here a moment. You'll notice source Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. So look, okay, but if you guys have been reading all this stuff all this time, don't you think you might have come across little better sources than Wikipedia? I just don't get the feeling that Elder Gabar here had really known much about Ignatius before last month, before June of 2016. And that's going to come out here in a moment because I didn't bring him back in here. I don't think well, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. All right. At least I got one of them here. Oops. I took the I took the Lightfoot edition back into my office. But remember when I introduced